the programmer's mindset. Have you ever stared at a screen of code and felt like it was trying to read a book in a language that you've never heard of before, which is composed of symbols that you've never seen before? It is not too far off from what looking at code can feel like from the very first time. It's composed of all these symbols that you have never seen before or don't understand, and you can't even understand how someone can have any meaning come from those lines of code. But just like any other skill, programming is one that you can learn. And the key step is to have from the very beginning the proper perspective. And over the next 4 minutes, that's what we will discuss. We'll discuss three key principles for success in learning programming. The power of small wins, how learning by doing is so impactful, and how failure isn't personal, having the proper view of failure. To start with the first principle, the power of small wins. Most every learner, when taking on a new language, will first write the Hello World program. It's a small program that simply prints out the words Hello World to the console. And while it may be something that can be done in 10 minutes, it's something that builds momentum. It's representative of a first success and something that you can be proud of as a tangible step in learning. And if you can continue to reframe the large goal of learning programming, which can be quite intimidating, into a series of much smaller successes, like simply printing 2 words to a screen, it will be able to be something that's now manageable. And you can celebrate the progress and build momentum as you learn. So you can ask yourself, what's a small win you can get in the next 10 minutes, perhaps? And it will make sure you're actually tangibly making progress. The second principle is learning by doing. Bruce Lee famously said in an interview, "Knowing is not enough, we must apply." And that was relevant for martial arts, but very much so for programming as well. It's learned by action. Taking in wisdom does have its place, but action is far more impactful. When you're writing code, breaking it, figuring out why it broke, and then being able to fix it, it's all steps in not just knowledge, but rather a collection of practical actions, events that you have that you can draw on later. And it takes it simply from words to actual events that you are able to create this deep set of network of knowledge from. So you can ask yourself, are you learning by watching or by doing? And the latter will be far more impactful. The third and final principle is regarding failure and how it's not personal. The word failure originally entered English in the 14th century through Old French word faillir, and it emphasized the defect or shortcoming not in a person, but in an outcome. So essentially, it's not personal. Failure, if you can think of it as it, is a source of information. If you start to expect that bugs are going to come, you won't be as affected when they do come, and you'll be able to slow down and view it not as a hit to yourself, your pride, but rather as an opportunity to grow. And growth comes from these mistakes. So when you see an error, do you see it as feedback or as failure? And if you can view it as feedback, it can be very powerful in your learning. So in conclusion, learning never ends. It's all part of the process to take these small wins, which you can get them by acting. And when you act, you will naturally encounter failure. And failures are opportunities for growth. If you have this perspective, you will be deeply empowered in your learning, because software engineering, programming, it's a field where learning never ends. So if you feel like you're unsure, it doesn't mean that you're behind. It just means that you're learning. So by doing this, having a healthy view of failure, taking in these principles, you will be able to have sustainable progress. Now we'll take questions or feedback.